Hey guys, I'm Dimension Jumper and today I'll be reviewing The Last of Us, which was released back in June of 2013 for the PlayStation 3, which then got a remastered version which was released for the PlayStation 4 in July of 2014. And the main plot of this game is that Joel has to take this kid called Ellie across state to try and find a cure, because about 20 years ago in game, and there was this sort of fungal disease zombie thing that got released, and now the whole world is sort of like in this post-apocalyptic state where everyone's kind of living on what they have and trying to not get affected by the fungal zombie guys. And yeah, and Ellie is probably the only person in game that isn't affected, because she's affected. Is that she's just immune to the disease, and Joel has to try and take her across state to try and find someone who knows a cure or who can produce a cure. And I think this is a really fun game. It's like it takes the whole zombie apocalypse thing, but kind of turns it on its head a bit. Because with zombies, we pretty much know a lot about zombie stuff. There's been zombie movies, games, TV shows, books, whatever. But this kind of takes it to another level, in the sense that what some of the ways to get infected is one of the same things that is you get bitten, you get infected within a few days. Another one is spores. I think because it's like there's some parts of the game where you have to go through these spore infected areas, and if you put on your gas mask, and then you're able to get through without getting infected. And that's an interesting way of making something zombie like without having actual zombies. And there are various affected like enemies that you have to fight, that you can find out throughout the game. Like there's some people that have been halfway affected. You'll see them like halfway human, halfway affected, and then you'll see someone who's fully affected, and you'll get to see like their face has been all like mushed, and just it's so mushed that it's far off from where once they were originally human. And yeah, it's interesting to see like how it's interesting to see like the sort of like how more people are more affected than by like how they've been bitten and how long they've been affected for. For instance, there's an enemy you fight in a gymnasium part of the game, and this particular affected person is so like it has like so much. It's so fully affected. It's just like they are no longer human. And apart from like some of the other enemies, they still have their human features. It's just like the top part of the face is just like mushed. But with the enemy in the gymnasium part of the game, their whole body has all this like sort of like fungal pus stuff that it can throw at you to create spores. And yeah, that's so interesting and so cool to see like how long someone who's affected will go from like being human, with I think it's like the starting phase where they're like half human, half affected, with like some of the face sort of mushed, to I think the halfway stage, which is like where their body is completely mushed, to their face and parts of the body are mushed, to the full on stage where they're just fully gone and they're no longer human. And that's so cool. And throughout the game you meet a lot of different people, as well as enemies. Some of them are like hunters that will try and hunt you down and kill you, because like there's a part where you get to go through a hotel and you see some of these hunter based enemies. There's also some guys you know, like you've got Ellie, who you've been assigned to. You've got the Fireflies, who are kind of like the sort of like freedom fighters in a sort of sense. You've got Tess and Bill, and they basically help you throughout parts of the game until stuff happens, and then they are separated from you. And yeah, that's really cool, and I think the game is a really fun sort of a post-apocalyptic game and stuff like that. So yeah, and now it's time for some gameplay. So when it comes to The Last of Us, when it comes to like these sort of rooms, you'll sometimes find like some puzzles and stuff like that.
That door looks like a way out.
And
you see a way to get up there?
And there'll be like different like puzzle areas you can do.
I'll be able to get there with this.
And like you're given some hints here and there, which I think is nice. Hopefully I can get to some of the enemies, so I can show you
about a hand?
Some of the different things you can do that can help you in battle and stuff like that, or when you're in your fight, that sort of thing.
Push harder.
So when I'm going to show you the weapons and stuff like that. So when it comes to the weapons, you can, if you press the D-pad, you can switch between different types of grenades, as medical kit, guns, that sort of thing. And if depending on how many guns you have, if you press and hold X, you can switch between weapons. So I don't have anything in my shotgun right now, but I do have some arrows. I have, and you can switch between different weapons, which I think is nice. And if you press, I believe, R2, yeah, you'll go into the sort of crouching state, and it'll give you a sort of sense in big air quotes there, and that is, you can, that will help you see how many enemies there are in a particular room, or in future rooms, or in other areas that are ahead of you, that sort of thing. And also places like this, maybe a bit smaller, are good places to find, throwable stuff to use on enemies to stun them, ammo, that sort of thing. Things you can upgrade. And also, if you press the main rectangular in the middle thing in the on the controller, you can change. You can see what you can upgrade and stuff. I can't do anything right now. And I also take these skilled pill things that can help you like with your health, weapons, that sort of thing. And then here are the different collectibles you can do, or you can find and use and stuff like that. And I do like the different set pieces. I think they are quite interesting as to see like how each set piece is used. I think that's quite nice. I do like the different set pieces.
Yeah, I should have known better.
So when it does come to actually fighting enemies, you've got all of these different obstacles. Well, not obstacles. Placements that you can use to your advantage. So they can be set up. So you can move.
Watch the gate.
You can move back and forth.
Search the area. Do not let anybody through.
So I can change. Ooh.
You can hear that?
Watch yourself.
Okay. I meant to hit one of the enemies to stun them. But this is like something that you can use to your advantage. Like enemies will be attracted to the sound, that kind of thing. And if I can, oh no, okay. If I can, you can do a sort of. You can like, and you can also like apart from doing like attack with guns, you can switch between like melee attacks and gun attacks. stuff like that, and I wasn't really trying with that. So yeah, I'm going to try it again. I'm going to try properly now. So you can also do sneak attacks, and depending on what you have, if you've got a shiv or not, you can either use the shiv, which is located next to your health bar, if you can see that, and you can use that to do a quick sneak attack on your enemies, and it's just a nice way of just doing like different sneak attacks. And also, this is it's a good thing now to use my sort of honing skills, and I think you can just see the outline of a few people in my range, so I think that's quite nice. So you can like kind of get a vast outline of how many people there are, and depending on so like you just it's all just about like just using the environment around you. That's how I feel like this game is.
I'm gonna light you up.
And I think it's nice. It's like to try and the sort of like using the environment around you, stuff like that. So yeah, so that's been it for the gameplay. Now to go back to the review. So overall, I would say that The Last of Us is a pretty fun game. I think it's a nice. It has some nice set pieces here and there, like with the hotel. I think that's a nice set piece, and stuff like that. And I do like how both Joel and Ellie interact with each other. I think they have good chemistry, because like it's kind of like to me God of War a bit in terms of that how with Kratos and Atreus, they sort of like are a bit distant at the start of the 2018 game, but by the end of that game, they are more closer together. And it's kind of like that with Joel and Ellie. Like at the start, Joel is like, okay, I have to take this kid to this other person. Okay, just get out, and then just do my own stuff. And then by the end of the game, they're more closer together and stuff like that. And yeah, I would say overall it's just a very fun game. I do enjoy how like it's like kind of like the whole post-apocalyptic world where resources are limited, and it does that sort of thing where you can only find a limited amount of resources here and there. And yeah, I think it's really cool, and I think it's just a nice, fun, interesting game, and it's really cool. So that's been my review for The Last of Us, as well as its remastered version. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.